What's up guys, welcome back to Seize the Speed for another review, and today to the right side of me we have a special one. This is a 2017 Mercedes-Benz AMG C63 with a V8 4-liter bi-turbo under the hood. Let's get into it. So this is the sedan version of the C63. This car also comes in a coupe configuration. There is also a C63S version that has about 30 something more horsepower than this. The current configuration we have over here is a basic C63 with a M177 engine, V8 twin turbo under the hood, which we'll look at in a little bit. But this engine makes 469 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. It transfers the power to the rear wheels through a 7-speed Tiptronic automatic. This C63 comes with 18-inch rims and some massive 6-piston brakes in the front and 4-piston brakes in the rear. The braking actually feels phenomenal on this thing for the weight and the power it has. It's super nice, it's adequate. You can see the V8 bi-turbo badge on the fender right here. This is the W205 version of the C-Class chassis. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think this is one of the better looking C-Classes. So as far as the styling of the C63 AMG goes, in 2017 this would be the W205, and I've owned a couple C-Classes back in my day. I gotta say the W205 is one of my favorite designs, from these taillights that resemble the S-Class of the year, which also is one of my favorite S-Classes out there, to the diffuser design, the rear end. The C-Class always struggled to look a bit more upmarket, even in the AMG version. This one I think definitely does the justice for this vehicle, especially in the coupe. You can see the mean arches on the fenders. So I keep talking about this V8 bi-turbo, so let's actually take a look at it. And voila, look at this thing. Hot V, twin turbo V8. This one is a 4-liter. It's a pretty small displacement V8. However, it packs a hell of a punch. The lag of the turbos isn't as pronounced as it was on the 5.5-liter predecessor to this engine. And it also is a lot more predictable compared to the 6.3 supercharged cars. However, it doesn't have that gut punch feeling that those cars used to have, kind of like a Hellcat or like an American muscle car. This thing's more refined, better suited for daily drivability. Also, this car gets much better fuel economy. It's rated for 25 mpgs highway, which, I mean, if you're buying AMG, I don't know how much you care about that, but it's good to know that you can get decent fuel economy and listen to some good V8 noises. And speaking of V8 noises, let's hear this thing. Let's see how much space there is in a, C63 sedan. After all, you buy this over the coupe to see if you can fit people back here. So the headroom, I have about a finger length. I'm about 5'10", sitting behind my own seating position. I have plenty of leg room, no complaints there. But due to this panoramic sunroof in the car, the back section for the headroom is a little bit limited. For long hauls, it could get a little cramped, but if you're carrying children or smaller passengers, no problem. So as far as the trunk space goes on the C63, it's actually pretty decent sized trunk, especially compared to the coupe. You know, it's your typical C-Class trunk you get on a sedan, so no complaints here. So let's hop into the interior of this thing and see what it's all about. Woo! Hopping into the interior of the C63, here's the key. And it's an old school ignition for this one. Turn the key and the V8 comes to life. And here's your interior in the 2017. As you can see, this is a pretty outdated module screen with the thick bezels around it. Other than that, pretty nice looking wood trim, IWC clock. You got your AMG right there. So as far as the modes go, we got Sport mode and then Sport Plus, where the valves open. So the interior of the W205 is a humongous upgrade compared to the older W204, even W203. Oh my God, those cars were, you know, cheap class, as Tyler Hoover likes to call them. But this thing, you know, you got your metal paddle shifters, you have your AMG, all these metal trim, even on your window switches. You have all this really pretty wood trim running all over the interior. You have your mode selector right there, which we'll get into when we drive it a little bit. Of course, you have separate suspension controls over your engine, over your traction, all of that stuff. The gauges look pretty attractive. You have a little bit of carbon fiber looking trim inside of the gauges. It looks nice, it looks classy. Nothing too crazy or special, but still very nice. I'm a big fan of these circular vents in a Mercedes. It just feels premium, really nice. Overall, the seats, the quality of the leather in here, of course, it's Mercedes. You have Alcantara in the middle. You have your AMG embossed right there. This thing does indeed come with a double sunroof right there, panoramic. And the front one does open all the way back up. It kind of folds onto the rear piece. It actually opens up the cabin pretty nice. I'm a big fan of this feature right there. This particular one is lacking the cooled seats, however, it does have the heated seats inside. And the main thing and the biggest complaint about this interior is this infotainment system. It is abysmal for 2017. I mean, Kia was doing much better things with their infotainment. You have these buttons to control the settings with. You press media and you bring yourself to here. It is controlled with this wheel down here. As you can see, it honestly, it's worse than iDrive. In my opinion, the iDrive CIC I think works similar to this. And you have a navigation system. You press this and it literally like pulls up a Garmin from, who knows, 2010 I want to say. Yeah, so if you know, you get one of these, consider getting one of those Android screen upgrades. Also, Mercedes with the with the lesser upgraded stereo gives you these thick bezels to remind you that you didn't spend the extra money. Come on, Mercedes, what the heck is this? For something with an MSRP base starting in the high 60s, this is a joke. All that jazz aside, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ecstatic to get behind the wheel of this thing and actually take it out for a drive. So hop in with me. Let's take this out. Let's enjoy this car and see what the V8's all about. All right, driving the 2017 Mercedes C63 AMG. Right now we are in comfort mode, engine-wise, suspension-wise, and also traction control is on. We're just driving it normally and it's driving beautifully. It's a Mercedes. There's not even much engine sound coming in. If you like halfway floor it, pretty smooth, not much drama going on. It is rougher than your average C-Class, of course. It has sportier suspension, but it's because it provides pretty good handling for a small sedan that it is. But everything changes when you go down here to this dynamic button. We're gonna go to Sport Plus. You can immediately hear the exhaust wake up. Here we have our suspension setting and also Sport Plus. And then we can push this and put traction in Sport. Left foot brake. Then light on the brakes, which are enormous. Woo! Woo! Yep, this thing handles great and has really good brakes. The transmission, it's still got ways to go to be a dual clutch, but it's still a great transmission. Has a little bit of body roll. Like the front end turns after the rear. There's a little bit of a delay. You can definitely feel like the front passenger lifting when I go into a right turn a little bit. Sounds incredible. Not too loud. at least from inside of the cabin. Hit it. Alright, nose in the corner. Yeah, the trans is just a hair more delayed than a DCT. But for a Tiptronic automatic, it's not bad at all. It handles really good. Steering feedback is, honestly, I want to say it's better than the electronic power steering in the M cars, slightly in the sense of weight and feel. Might not be as accurate, you know, because this car is designed slightly more for comfort over the M cars. Man, this thing has a whole lot of grip. Definitely has more body roll than an M3. But man, it still has a whole ton of grip. Let me get in a second. Yep. Let's go. As I always say, a V8 belongs on the highway, and this one is no exception. Especially a V8 twin turbo. Honestly, I enjoy driving this thing in automatic more than shifting the gears myself. Just like any Tiptronic, it gets a little bit finicky. Like, you shift too early or too late, and it does a giant jerk. So, I mean, driving it normally, you know, at 3500, shifts are nice, crisp, smooth, no problem. But, you know, when it gets high up in the RPMs, you can definitely short shift it, or you can, if you hit the rev limiter, it's not going to be happy with you. Also, it bangs the shifts when it's in automatic. It's not as burbly as you would think, but it does little pops and bangs here and there. Just little nice surprises. This thing is, of course, an absolute blast to drive, especially when it crackles and pops like that. I mean, I like to talk a lot of smack about Tiptronics, but Mercedes did a decent job. This is not bad at all. The car actually handles and drives a lot lighter and smaller than the 3,900 pounds that it weighs. It doesn't feel bad at all. This thing's definitely quick, and it's one of those cars that doesn't feel it. Like, you can feel the torque and stuff, you hear the sound, but German cars, you know, they drive a lot slower than they feel. Or maybe the other way around, but you know what I mean. Aside the screen that is ancient in this thing, the interior actually is pretty engaging for the driver. You just have your typical analog gauges, which, hallelujah, I love them. Nothing to distract you, gorgeous steering wheel, metal paddle shifters, and that's about it. The only complaint I have is I'm not the biggest fan of the Mercedes shifter. Alright guys, and that is all I have for the 2017 Mercedes AMG C63 with the V8 bi-turbo under the hood. Please let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you own one of these cars, if you're thinking about buying one, what else are you cross-shopping it with? I read each and every comment, I answer to all of your comments, so let me know what you think. But please smash the thumbs up button if you like this video, subscribe if you're not, more reviews to come. But as far as this one goes, this one is over, so have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out, and I'm out.